What's going on, guys, and welcome back. It's Season 4's patch notes, all the buffs and nerfs coming to the heroes within the game. And we're going to skip the fluff, skip the intro, roll past the alphabetical order, and get the graphic right out here. Luna Snow, you're the one holding the L. We've got a Luna nerf today, guys, so you know it's going to be a banging patch notes. We're going to review all of the patch notes, though, that should shake up the meta quite a bit. You're going to be surprised at a couple outside the Luna Snow nerf. We got a lot to jump into. My first reaction, your first look. Let's go. All right, guys, as always, we start out with the Vanguards. We have Captain America. Now, Cap's damage output is getting a slight downgrade. They alluded to this in the dev vision. They'll be removing his team-up anchor bonus of just a 5% damage boost across the board, which is that's a big nerf, man. 5% across everything really shows they want this guy to be more of Captain Survival than Captain Good at everything. The more you kind of climb up ranks, or if you looked at the Ignite series, the more lethal Captain becomes. He has a strategist ult, essentially like a third one for the team. And then his damage can be quite crazy if you animation cancel and just use every bit of his abilities in sync. And so they want to tame that down a little bit and make him more, I guess, how they designed him to be. I mean, man, if you looked at him when he first got this team up, he had like an extra 100 plus health, plus the damage boost. The dude was ridiculous, and now we've got a much tamer Steve Rogers. All right, on to the next. We have Doctor Strange. He is now going to be casting faster, but he trades a bit of survivability for offensive mystique. Now, we did talk about this a bit, how they've kind of gone back and forth with Doctor Strange. Do they want him to be more of a defensive Vanguard or this offensive Vanguard? When they went pure defense, people hated him, and he really lost a lot of his bite. And now it looks like they're doing a little bit of both, right? So reduce Maelstrom of Madness cooldown from 8 seconds to 6 seconds. Good God, that's his pop ability. That is a massive reduction, and that's going to really help just try to get those final eliminations and or be more threatening across the board. So that's, man, that's disgusting. But then they're going to reduce his base health from 600 to 575. I honestly think that's probably okay. I think that's going to be worth the trade-off. I mean, I think, again, they're experimenting how they want him to be in his role as well. He's got the shield. He already has a good amount of, survive and defensive capabilities. But now he can be that much more lethal. So you just have to respect Stephen Strange that much more. All right, so Emma Frost, here it is. The White Queen nerf we've all been anticipating as the best Vanguard in the game. We knew it was coming. The White Queen's control and survivability are getting a little less unbreakable. I feel like their puns have been better in the past, let's be honest. Increased diamond form cooldown from 15 seconds to 18 seconds. So Mother's going to take a bit more time. That's, 3 seconds is definitely going to add up. And you're going to have to be a lot more locked in when you want to lock down, when you want to go diamond form, and make sure you use it accordingly. That's going to hurt and just make you be that much better on Emma. Reduce telepathic pulse energy gained when hitting shields from 10 seconds to 5 per second. Or 10 per second to 5 per second. So that one's kind of big, right? So charging up to 100%, you know how lethal she can be at maximum capacity, right? Full power. And a lot of that does come from shields, right? There's so many shields in the game, from Emma v. Emma to Doctor Strange, you name it. And so getting 10 per second down to 5 is a pretty big chunk. Obviously, you get, I think, 15 per second when you take out their soul or whatever. And you still get a good amount for hitting somebody, but the shield gain was really strong. And so that's going to taper down a bit. I think these put together should keep her more in check. She's still going to be very good in the Master of All, I think. And so even though this does hurt her a ton, she's still Emma, right? Peni Parker, who has now been on, I feel like, every single buff list for the last, 3 seasons. Enemies caught in Penny's webs are in for a sticky situation. Oh boy. Yeah, so before we jump into this, a lot of pros and or top players, they like Penny, they like Thor, but their ults just did not have any significant value. And so even if their kits are fine, you compare them to other ults and how game-changing they would be, and the impact was not there. Her ultimate ability just got more threatening, so spider drones have a new effect. Okay, so spider drones come from the nest and her abilities. This now slows hit enemies by 8% for 2 seconds. Oh my, anti-dive. Each hit stacks the effect and resets the slow period, stacking up to 40%. Now, 40, you've got to be in there for a good amount of time. But either way, oh my god. So these drones are much more punishing. The ult now is going to just be this kind of it's scary, man. It's going to slow everyone down and be able to have the rest of your team kind of collapse on them and be somewhat of a setup. But then also, this is just good across the board, right? Like, woof. Because now the webs are strong, the ultimate's strong. Reduce spider drones release interval during the ultimate from 0.7 seconds to 0.5. So they're going to be coming out even more, correct? So, yeah, this seems pretty strong. We're going to have to see, you know, sometimes slows don't feel like that big of a deal, but I can tell you 8% for 2 seconds, and that stacking, dude, you could be moving at a snail's pace if Penny's all up in your business. And there are like the top 5% of Penny players are cracked at this hero. Man, they're gonna go off. And then lastly, guys, in the Vanguards, we have Thor, which we knew he would get something, right? Obviously, he's getting a brand new ability. Angela's gonna be played a lot, so that alone is gonna make him way better with the new team up. And he's got the spear that he can throw to, jump to, so he's more mobile, gets more Thor force and damage. On top of that, the God of Thunder's ultimate is getting an upgrade. So he's going to have an increased movement speed from 600 to 700 during the ultimate. I feel like this entire patch is going to be one of the most important to do the side-by-side. So, again, be on the lookout for that. I'll probably have that out in a couple of days. I missed the last season. I was in China, but this season we got you. That's strong, though. You know, you can definitely get to where you're going. Now, I will say, so after ultimate ability lands, you can stun everybody for 1 second, which is definitely nice, man. Sometimes you're just kind of a sitting duck after you land down, and yeah, I feel like he's the definition of like superhero landing, and he's like, haha, and then everyone just, you know, kills you. This obviously doesn't change the fact that people can look up and destroy you in the ult, but it makes it a lot better and faster, so this should help. I don't think it's gonna be crazy. I was hoping they would do like you controlled thunder and you can be away from the chaos, right? Because you're still like right up in the business. But combine this with all the other changes, Thor is looking, and he's looking scary. All right, so that concludes the Vanguards. We don't have anything for Venom, the Thing, amongst others, but we move on to the Duelists. Now, Black Panther is going to be our just our main villain of the last couple of seasons, obviously, and he did get a new shield with the Gamma team up, which I can guarantee you're never playing that, man. That's gonna be banned all the time. But T'Challa's survivability after striking a marked enemy is now less kingly. Again, the puns, come on now. Reduce bonus health gained when striking vibranium marked enemies with sprint. Okay, so from 30 to 25. That's definitely not a small bit. You're getting a good amount of health taken away when you do your dash, get your reset, and go back, and that really starts to stack up and multiply. On top of that, he is going to have his reduced base health from 300 down to 275. So you get the shield and a team up that's probably banned, but you get a much easier to eliminate King of Wakanda. And I think this is going to add up, guys. So he should be a lot easier to punish. And, you know, we thought, I mean, I still think he has a very high skill ceiling, but it's not, his skill floor isn't exactly, you know, as hard as people make it out to be sometimes. It's not hard to get the reset. Obviously, you can feel like you're just kind of, you know, doing, you know, tickling, being the tickle master, as people like to say, but he's going to be a lot easier to take down, that's for sure. All right, next up is Blade, guys. And we always get this typically with the new heroes. They don't go overboard most of the time. Like in the case of Human Torch, they buff them over time because they don't want to make them too strong. So Blade is going to get an increase of sword slash damage per slash from 22 to 24, which, you know, that's not bad. People were kind of calling him, like, his name's Blade, but, like, his blade was awful. So people were calling him, like, the shotgun guy. And so hopefully this now makes it where you can both, you know, finish off people a bit quicker. 48 damage in a second is nothing to laugh at. But definitely just feels more like the name, dude, like Blade, and you can slash and dash. But yeah, I like the change. Next up, guys, we have Magik, and I knew this would be a big buff and nerf patch. You know, we've seen a lot of Vanguards. Duelists, they're striking a good amount, and Magik is, oh my gosh, look at all this. So Magik loses her team up. Now, some team ups are pretty good, some not so much. Magik got 15% damage boost, which is a ton. So let's see how they make it up. They typically try to do so. She does get the new Arcane Order team up, so you're going to have a new ability to slow and chain people together, which is nice. But let's look at what they do. Reduce charge time required for Magik slash maximum damage from 1.8 to 1.2. Very good. definitely like that. That's going to help set up her combo. So when you charge the sword back and you throw it, and then you typically dash melee hit, that's going to be down from 1.8 to 1.2 for that max damage. To make the combos a bit easier. The max damage, though, obviously is going to probably be a little bit down. Magic / new effect. Projectile now pierces enemies, and reduces stepping disc cooldown by 1 second per enemy pierced. Okay, so a long time ago, I did a guide with Right Amazing, like season 0. We covered all of Magic. This is pretty crazy. So her charge up does more damage faster now, or at least it gets to the max damage faster. But that projectile that comes from the sword can go through enemies, and when you do that, it's going to reduce her portal and, you know, the mobility, what makes her hard to hit, by 1 second per enemy pierce. So you have now a way to continue to be just hard to get, right? Like usually you kind of like know where she's going to be, and when she runs out of those portals, you can kind of punish her. Now she should be able to get this a lot more. I like this change a ton. We'll have to see how it works in practice. Increased soul sword damage from 65 to 75. Nice. I believe that is just a flat boost. Yeah. So I think that's a little bit more than 15%, which is nice. It's going to make up for the damage boost loss. Now increase her world damage, which is very strong, obviously, from 45 to 50. So she loses about 4 or 5% off the top there of damage after losing her anchor. So that's a bit of a nerf. Increased Demon's Rage damage from 18 to 20. That's also going to be a nerf overall. Increased melee normal attack from 30 to 40. Oh my god, that's a huge buff. 33%-ish just straight off the top. 15% increase with the nerf. And you use this all the time for the combo. So this is going to make the combo that much better and kind of help mitigate some of the damage with the Magic Slash going down. Because the maximum damage, like the Magic Slash, is not getting buffed up. It's just getting to its max damage faster. During Dark Child's ultimate, increase the whirl single hit damage from 35 to 45. Ooh, wow, that's a nice upgrade. Okay, so the whirl gets stronger in Dark Child, but the dash gets a little worse whenever you look at the 15% loss. I think Magic's going to play better. We have to see, like, the combo of melee is going to be that much more important to learn, but overall, I like these changes. I mean, 15% off the top, but all of this changing, and anytime we get a reduction to cooldowns, I'm a big fan of it. We know how powerful that is. So I think this is a Magic dub. All right, Mark Spector, Moon Knight. Love Moon Knight, man. He's such a fun hero to play. He is now moon charged for maximum chaos. So you could have said like he's now a full moon. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Moonblade now holds up to 2 charges, each taking 6 seconds to recharge. Hot damn. Was it always 6 seconds? That I don't know. But what I do know is the Moonblade is nothing to laugh at. That's his big blade that he throws. And so typically you can throw down the couple charges, bam, hit him with the right Moonblade, and then you continue to throw the Crescent Darts. But now you got 2 of those. And so you can finish off bigger enemies quicker. And then you can also just hit piles of people a lot faster because it loses damage as it bounces around. This is nice, man. This kind of reminds me of when they gave Bucky 2 of those voltage charges and it made him way just more consistent with his kit. This is a big dub for Moon Knight. And, man, he becomes that much more lethal, especially at low elo. Good God. Between him and Penny and low elo oh, boy. Okay, so Psylocke, she's been my babe. She's been my main, and who I climbed with quite easily up the ranks. Let's see what happens. So size burst damage has been slightly dialed back. Slightly. Decrease the retrieval damage of wing shurikens per hit from 12 to 8. Oh my god, that's a massive... Okay, it's a retrieval damage, so at least you have that, but it doesn't... Really, it's all a burst combo. So your pop, you put you put them in, you take them back out with the retrieval, and then you can, dash, hit them again. So that's definitely going to... Wow, I'm gonna have to feel this one out, but I think this one will feel pretty rough across the board. You're just gonna have to be that much more accurate with her main pops, and that makes it tougher to just take out different thresholds of these heroes. I'm sad about it, but Psylocke has been like just a hit and go for so long now. They took a full second off her stealth. Still amazing. This is the first time we're getting something done to her damage, I think, ever. No, that's not right. I think we've had more. But anyway, Scarlet Witch is next up. Wanda's survivability and ultimate are getting a magical upgrade. Can now be healed by teammates during Mystic Projection. Okay, that's actually really nice. So whenever you're trying to like run away from the opponent or you're playing on the aggressive, Typically, you couldn't be healed, but now you can by your teammates. That's really good. I like that change a lot. Good, kind of quality of life change for teammates of Wanda. Increase reality erasers damage from 800 to 9. All right, so they've been like kind of tweaking this damage to be able to like, one-shot Groot or one-shot a tank. Now they're like, you know what? If you're caught in this ult, you are dead. That's crazy. So diamond form, nothing. You're gonna die if you get caught in reality eraser, which it's called reality eraser, not like, oh, you get 5 health eraser. That's huge, man. Those portal plays, good God. New effect. Okay, we're not done, but wait, there's more. On the Scarlet Witch infomercial, new effect now pulls in nearby enemies within 15-meter radius during cast charge. Max pull speed of 2.4 meters. Okay, oh my God, so it pulls people into, so you have to... How's this gonna work, man? I don't know. That seems kind of crazy. Obviously, you can still, just delete her in high-level play, and she's still not played at all in high elo, but this is, this could help for sure. We'll have to see, but this seems crazy. All right, we have Squirrel next, and, she went from a low elo minutes to even get played at high elo at times. They're going to be taking away a bit of everything, it looks like. So reduce burst acorn damage from 110 to 100. All right, so just a flat nerf to her main base kind of spell field damage. Increase the hit damage of Squirrel Blockade from 35 to 50. That's that kind of root in place, I believe. So you're going to get more from hitting that. So you lose 10 off the top, but you gain 15. So if you can stun them, then hit them, you're going to do more. Increase mammal bond cooldown from 10 seconds. Oh my God. Increase 50. Wow. So 10 to 15. So the reset of the nut or the jump is going up by 5 seconds. It's not a small number. The squirrel mains are in shambles. That's rough. All right, last duelist, or is it rough? Last duelist, Winter Soldier. Bucky's getting a handy improvement to his close quarters control. That's a Laffy Taffy tongue twister. Troopers. Oh my gosh, I can't read. Okay, so his Trooper's Fist, which is his kind of his uppercut. Second strike now applies a 1-second debuff to enemies hit, preventing them from using mobility abilities. Wow. First of all, this whole thing's a tongue twister. Second of all, that's kind of cool, man. That's nice. So you can truly be even more of the anti-dive that we like Bucky and his role with the grapple. He's fantastic against some of these certain heroes. So that is going to be nice. And we don't have any Iron Fist, no Mr. Fantastic changes. That's the first in a while. But we move on. We move on to Strategist. So Strategist, guys, Invisible Woman. Sue Storm's control and ultimate abilities just got more. Fantastic. Increased slow effect to enemies passing through Guardian Shield from 30% to 35%. Love it. That's going to be great. If you have somebody walk through your shield, they're going to get slowed even more. Increase invisible boundary. So the ultimate, the healing from 165 per second to 180. Definitely going to add up. Not mad about it. I think it does need a little bit more healing overall. So we're kind of get on the same par as some of these other strategists. And you can do it from afar. So you've got that going for you. New effect slows enemies within range by 20%. Within range. Doesn't it already slow people inside it, right? So within range, does it have a new slow? I should know this. Maybe there's if you're close to it now, you get slowed. That's interesting. Maybe. Because then you can't kind of hover out the outside. We'll have to see how that one works, but I think that's what it means. I like it. I do. I think that's going to be fairly strong, and they're keeping everything else about the same. So we'll have to see again in practice and on side by side how that feels when you have a Punisher just, destroying you. Jeff the Baby Land Shark. Jeff's ultimate leaves a healing pool after use. Wow, this is crazy. Okay, so it's Jeff now leaves an 8-meter radius healing pool at the point of activation that heals allies within range by 100 per second. Healing pool lasts for 8 seconds. Yo, this is insane. This is so good. Okay, this is stuff I should just know. And again, it's early. I've taken way too many stupid pills this morning. I'm only supposed to take 2, took 3. Point of activation, to me, tells me, when you use the ult, and you let's say you're on the point, you activate the ult, that leaves the pool. So you just, everybody on the point's getting healed, and you're able to go underwater, and then you go up, and then you can swallow everybody. Or does it mean you swallow everybody on point, and that's where the healing pool is left? I should know that. Either way, I think obviously being able to use it before you go is crazy. Now leaves an 8-meter radius healing pool at the point of activation. We'll have to see. But that seems really good either way, because now you want to be a little bit more deliberate where you swallow. Either way, you're going to be able to heal people a lot more, because a lot of the time your team is with you when you swallow up people, or if you like eat everybody and then you spit people out, people can get healed. I wonder if he can get healed by his own healing pool. Probably. That seems really good, Jeff Mains, and Jeff is still underrated. I'm telling you guys, he won the whole damn Ignite championship. Loki. People are going to hate this. Loki, less damage, healing, and ultimate ability active time for God of Mischief. It's sad. See, I used to be a big Loki main, and the more people caught on, I'm like, all right, I've had my fun. And I miss him. But maybe not anymore. Reduces illusions, damage, and healing ratio from 100% to 80%. Holy massive nerf. Okay, so the clones are 20% less effective. They used to be 1-for-1. Now, losing a lot of their bite. That's going to take down a lot of the healing and the damage. Good God, they're trying to dethrone Loki with Angela being the new Asgardian on top. Reduce God of Mischief. Shapeshift period from 15 seconds to 12 seconds. Also kind of major. If using an active duration ability like Luna Snow, reduce Shapeshift's residual period after from 5 to 3. Way less time being the hero itself. Man, Loki mains, I'm sorry. Luna Snow, all right. This is what you guys already saw this one, but let's read it again, right? Because it just brings so much dopamine. So her ultimate's getting cooled down. See, we do nerf her. The fact they have to put that is how you know. They're like, season 4. Maybe we waited too long. Reduce fate of both worlds, the ultimate duration from 12 to 10 seconds. I'm going to say this as much as I was hyping it up in the intro. That's not that long. I mean, I thought maybe they'd go down to like 8 seconds, 10 seconds. Yeah, 2 seconds off the top. If they have Loki, you're looking at 20 seconds of, not being able to do any damage. Opposed to 24, 10 seconds is definitely, it's a start, guys. It's a start. I think this is definitely not bad. Her damage is still good. She's still very good overall. 12 to 10 seconds, but what, like a 16% nerf. So we got it though. Mantis is getting a little more slippery. Movement boost from nature's favor. Now decays to 0 over 2 seconds after being hit instead of instantly disappearing. That's definitely nice. So she's going to be more slippery, and it doesn't just auto slow you down. It kind of gives her own identity. I like that they're trying to make all these strategists feel different in their own way by not, just making them all heal bots, right? Good for Mantis. Definitely is going to make her harder to hit too. Ultron, his damage is now dealing even more pain. New effect deals 125% damage to bonus health. Okay, so we now have someone that does that much more against bonus health heroes, which we're starting to get a lot more of. That's a dub. I like it. Gives them even more purpose depending on the hero comp. All these strategist changes I'm good with. All right, so team up abilities. We've already talked about this in the previous stuff. So Angela, that's their Arcane Orders getting Magik, and then Gamma Charge is getting Black Panther. However, Arcane Order, they are going to be nerfing some of it has projectile and spell field damage. Wanda's kind of crazy team up with Doctor Strange is getting a 50% cut. At least from 12 to 6, at least when looking at the spell field damage. So that is nothing to laugh at. But we'll see. I mean, one is going so crazy. I think that was very much needed. But again, side by sides, that's what we're going to be looking out for. So that is all of your changes for season 4 and my first impressions, reactions of them. I think overall, no one got absolutely destroyed to the ground. Some are definitely going to not feel as great, but we did need a shift in the meta, and I think this is definitely here, guys. And then you throw in Angela and all this. Yeah, I think we definitely got ourselves a big shakeup. Let me know down below, what did they miss? What should they have gotten? Again, keep your eyes out for the first look at Season 4. That should be going up tomorrow, as well as the side-by-side comparisons. If you enjoyed this video and you want to help me out massively as a creator, 80% of you guys that watch, I think it's even more now, aren't subscribed. So, yeah, subscribe. Takes a second. I'm not subscribed to a bunch of channels that I should be, so I should do that too. Anyway, guys, have a good one. Have a great one. To the next one. Happy rifling.